Hello everyone, Pavlo with you, and today I've got for you a warming daily dose of Ukrainian accent. Today we are talking about interesting and partially unusual headphones SIVGA Peng. Usually for companies they use premium materials and offers superb build quality. But what makes them unusual, it's a high impedance. They have 300 ohms of impedance. It's closed back dynamic driver model. Price is $500, and as usual for SIVGA, I have a pretty high expectations. So let's check them out and see how will they fulfill. Package is pretty traditional for SIVGA, just recycled cardboard protecting the internals, and lid is fitting nice and tightly. So let's open it, and even without opening I can easily guess that inside you'll see case, and that's it. Let me reorganize this a little bit. So here it is, as usual, really well-made case with nice zipper, and inside you're getting headphones themselves and also really traditional fabric bag with a stock cable. So let me undo it and we'll see inside. So here it is. Cable, 6.3mm adapter from balanced to single-ended out, and as you can see, stock cable with a Pentagon connector. Build quality is traditional for SIVGA and it's absolutely top-notch. Company used the best materials. Headphones are made almost entirely of metal, wood and nice pleather, and they not only looks great but also feels great on head. They are not heavy despite using pretty solid wooden cups, and they do a great job in distributing this weight to provide you really comfortable wearing. Headband is made of metal and clamping force adjusted properly. They hold on your head really reliably, but at the same time not pushing too hard. Head pad made of leather, and it's one of the most comfortable head pads in the headphones world. This soft padding does a great job in distributing weight, and also at the same time it's not causing this overheating of top of your head. To adjust size, you just need to slide these attachment points up and down the headband, and the headphones are really comfortable to adjust. You just push these attachments higher, then put them on, and with two fingers slide them until you get comfortable fit on your head, and then it stays in this position and works really well. Cups have 2 degrees of freedom. They can be rotated in all directions. They can be rotated 90 degrees outwards and inwards, and it's really useful. Either you put them on your table or want to carry on your neck. In either case, you'll get a nice adjustment. As you can see, cups are closed back. They look great, nice polished wood, company logo. There are some vent holes on top, but despite of these holes, sound isolation is above average and they works pretty well in noisy environment. Of course, you won't get results as good as headphones with active noise cancelling, but still pretty nice option in terms of sound isolation. Interesting shape of ear pads. You can see they are pretty asymmetrical to provide the proper fit on your head. So let's do measurements, and of course it's really approximate measurements. It's 66 millimeters and roughly 50 millimeters, and in depth, let's measure it in the shallow place. It's 19 millimeters. So my ears fitting really well inside of these ear pads. They are perforated on the inside, but still there will be a bit of ears overheating during long listening sessions, but that's typical for closed back headphones. Ear pads are nice and soft, so wearing comfort is also pretty good with them. Cable is made replaceable. Here used standard 3.5 millimeter connectors. You just plug them in, nice click, and stock cable is great. It's soft, it's flexible, zero microphonic effect, really comfortable, and it's good in terms of ergonomics. Here is the splitter with chin slider, and it goes down to this Pentacon connector. So overall, great exterior and really high wearing comfort. In terms of sound, SIVGA decided to play it safe in a good meaning of these words and created sound signature that goes in between two polar opposites. It's not something warm and bass heavy, and at the same time it's not something natural, thin and focused on the micro contrast. They give nice musical, slightly warm but still pretty detailed sound signature. But probably let's talk about everything step by step. So bass goes deep and deeper layers of bass are present, but they are rolled off. Not too much, but still they moved a bit on the second stage, so their task is to give a solid foundation, but not dominate over the whole frequencies. And probably it's a bad news for bass heads, but I'm not a bass head, so for me it's more than okay. Main role here is played by mid bass, and it's nice, organic, with good texturing and a nice overall amount of small nuances and details. Bass is not too fast, not too dry, and it's not too slow and not too sloppy, so everything in between. It's not super punchy and rumbly headphones, but when it's necessary, you'll get a nice sense of presence in the low frequencies. But at the same time, they're not overdoing that, and they're not shadowing mid frequencies, giving a lot of space to breathe for the sound. In my subjective opinion, this tuning, of course, suits more for the natural instruments, but still, even electronic music sounds good. At least, to my taste. Probably for those who need like more weight and more dominating low frequencies, it's not the greatest option, but they are also responsible to the equalization, so it can be easily fixed. And first example, it's Enter Sandman by Metallica, and actually this is the type of warm signature that I really like with classical metal, and it provides a bit of additional weight for the drums and bass guitars, but at the same time lead guitar and vocal and percussion sounds also detailed with necessary aggression, so not overly warm and moved to second stage. So great balance, a bit highlighted bass, but just a little bit. And Teardrop by Massive Attack, another example of great performance on the bass. Not super tight, maybe a bit more tightness would be nice for this track, but still really enjoyable with all that bass layering, sounding nice, and you get enough of presence to dip you into this track. But at the same time, you're getting great contrast with mid frequencies and treble. Mids are like, in my opinion, strongest part here. They are really well balanced. You're getting nice details, but at the same time no highlight on small nuances, and that means that these headphones plays equally well with something audiophilic and with something recorded pretty poorly. And that's a lot of genres. So nice balance. When it's present in the record, they will give you really nice presence for the female vocals and good body for male vocals and all the details of the instrument, but at the same time they won't highlight issues of the records too much. Imagery stage is not huge because of the closed back design, but still it's above average and with proper size of instruments and really nice depth layering. So they try to do their best to give you that stage as much as it's possible with closed back headphones in this price range, because there are some expensive closed backs that gives a great results, but price will be 2 and more times higher. So pretty nice overall stage positioning and immersion into the track. And first example, it's David Maxim Micic, or David Maxim Micic. I'm not sure about the preferable way of reading the name of this great musician. And it's a nice experimental guitar track with a pretty good bass party here, but main star is guitar that is live and breathing and emotional. And second example, Dire Straits, So Far Away, also really nice bass guitar. You know, it's my type of bass tuning. Even speaking about mid frequencies, I want to highlight that I enjoy this type of low frequencies tuning. It's subjective, but also nice. But mid frequencies with Knopfler guitar and vocals also sounds really great and balanced. Not too thin, not too analytical, and not overly warm. So with good detalization and that balance that is hard to achieve in many cases. Treble has nice extension, maybe not maximum, but above average. It's pretty nice, detailed, it does a great job in balancing low frequencies, but at the same time it's not overly forward, not too energetic, so not completely safe type of treble tuning, but at the same time not too highlighted. So that means that you won't get excessive sharpness, but at the same time, thanks to good technicalities, proper attacks and decays, you'll get nice overtones, you'll get basic but well done layering, and you'll get that good sense of realism and airiness. Treble is not overly airy, but still pretty spacious, and I like this type of tuning for the higher frequencies too. And first example, it's Snarky Puppy, The Simple Life, and track is pretty saturated with different high frequencies, but at the same time they're not forward, not aggressive, but present and gives a good sense of or overall saturation for the instruments. And Sting, it's probably me, absolute hit for these headphones, that slightly warmer signature for the mid frequencies plays well with Sting voice, and all accompanying instruments and percussions are rendered nicely and have a pretty good spacing and staging done in a proper manner, immersing you into this track. In terms of pairing, it's a high impedance headphones. They will play nicely with some good dongle decks, but to get their full potential, you will need something powerful and preferably desktop. On the other hand, it's a great load for amplifiers that prefer higher impedance load, like OTL tube amplifiers or some solid-state headphones amplifier with high output power. And I tried them with Mova Z1. It's great tube amplifier and results were stellar. Or, for example, with FIO M17 that is close to some desktop devices in terms of driving power, it's also really good pairing. Luckily, now on the market we have a lot of even affordable devices that will drive these headphones properly. They are responsible for the equalization, so something with built-in equalizer will be a good benefit for these headphones. You will be able to tweak them to your taste. But it's not mandatory because stock tuning is also pretty nice. In terms of comparisons, probably I need to mention Meze 99 Classics V2, but they are more V-shaped. They have more weight on the low frequencies, they have more accented high frequencies, so more fun and more emotional type of signature, while here we have a slightly more relaxed type of tuning. And the FIO FT13 as another closed back in wooden case. FIO slightly weightier on bass, they have more deeper low frequencies, but here I hear a bit more details and more overall balanced signature. So overall, if you listen to music with natural instruments, if you prefer organic and balanced tuning, and if you have some good amplifier, or if you want to open the full potential of your tube amplifier, it's a really great option to consider in the closed back segment. So thank you for listening, thank you for your attention, and have a great day.